My brain belongs to me, said the fool who failed to understand neurochemistry and consequences. So, consequently, long ago I let in a contagious mental guest who proceeded to sneeze on everything I own. He was not what I thought he was. I kicked him out, this cranial roommate, this brain-born viral agent who piggybacked on adultery, played hacky sack with infidelity, and to this day I am still finding nicks and knacks he infected. Most of my will but bric-a-brac collected under dust. I'm afraid to touch anything, because everything is soaked in that putrid carnal stain, and no matter how many coats of shame I put on, I'm still so cold, for my fate was sealed from the moment I let him in. If you don't get it yet, I'm talking about my addiction to porn. An appetite engorged with the warmth of 1,000 strangers. So now my blood beats with a consistent demonic scream, an imp pulse to reduce any and every female form to shank, loins, and cheek, segregated meat. I am become decay with every artery carotid. Let's not romanticize this ugliness. I sold my soul to the lowest bidder, or perhaps the most bitter. My captor's compulsion and narcissism, for my principles are apparently property, my integrity not worthy, or at least not worth much. Bought by the beast for the price of a midnight rush. I'm not asking for sympathy. Nobody, no, not a soul, coerced me. So maybe call this a confession? A dissection of the long-term consequences of my choices, the neurochemistry of evil, if you will. You see, it's actually been months since the peak of my addiction subsided, yet in its wake I, with deadened mind, am awake, a vigil of protests, mourning the death of my free will. I said I am awake, unable to sleep as the cries of enslaved neurons bellow from the neural pathways of my brain, that I, in my silence, and all the years of violent glimpses to a screen filled with flesh, chose the side of the oppressor, my own dark nature, who shackled my will to ships bound for deadly shores. I have a dream, or I had a dream, that my brain belonged to me, because I banished the monster from my heart. And if you pass a law, you never have to deal with the repercussions again, right? Said the fool who failed to understand neurochemistry and consequences. Do you still not get it? When I look within my soul and see such devastation, so many places for the arachnid remnants of the creature to hide, I can't help but see myself in the beginnings of this nation. Both of us built upon a destructive mindset that is largely internal but often manifests in physical ways and has infiltrated the bedrock of human interaction. Call it lust. Call it racism. But please understand neurochemistry and consequences. If I am one man with a 15-year viral house guest, and I'm still cleaning up the toxins he left behind, still needing to exercise caution within the corridors of my mind, then how much more rampant would a sin as wretched as slavery run red through the veins of an entire country? I don't really care if you use the term systemic racism, and I'm not going to throw graphs, pie charts, and stats at you because I prefer not to load the chambers of my heart with bullet points, wielding facts about Black Death like the slugs that killed them. I mean, does it bring anyone any comfort to carry around names like they're numbers? The skin and bones of kidnapped, raped, and beaten image bearers line the stones upon which we built our prettiest monuments, and there are grandparents among us with memories of atrocities legally sanctioned, but we passed some laws a few decades ago, so we don't have to deal with the repercussions. Said the fools who failed to understand neurochemistry and consequences. The tattered, recovering remnants of my brain are a testament to the fact that it takes more than a proclamation to kill a sin. Otherwise, it would just be a bad habit. Easy to kill it, bury it, and move on. But spiritually, mentally, neurochemically, we know this isn't true. These things take a long time. Evil isn't just individual. Our souls were created for the communal, the transcendental, so sin is therefore generational, consummational, eager to impregnate hearts, to birth abuse upon descendants innumerable. I can't present you with a manual. If the way out of this was merely instructional, statistical, we would have found it by now. I suspect the answer is more conversational. Speaking from personal experience, it helps to talk about it, to not be told that my problem doesn't actually exist. For this beast subsists on a diet of denial and blissful ignorance. My brain hasn't belonged to me for a long time, ever since I, like my founding fathers, stole a people's right to exist apart from what they could do for me. There is cancer in our hearts, mine, and my country's, entangled as we are with spirits of hatred and slavery, tumors hidden, legion, and eager to grow. Malignancy that cannot be shamed into submission, nor extracted with a scalpel. No. What we need is a miracle, for consequences are always more than neurochemical.